Hi, good day everybody. My name is Brian Edwards. Today I'm going to be demonstrating an app that I've built using Power Apps that enables you to view any content stored on any site, in any document library, on any list in SharePoint Online using the Microsoft Graph 2 APIs for SharePoint. The app has absolutely no connectors associated with it, and all of this functionality is enabled through 5 graphs. I'm going to be blogging on this shortly. This is just a precursor to that blog in terms of how it was built and the different flows, and I'll be sharing those. So what I've got over here is a predefined list of sites that are associated to the app, so I don't have to go and search for them individually. But if I want to, I can search my entire environment for any other sites, and I can say search, and this calls a flow which goes and retrieves any sites matching the search term that I used. If I just go back to my default list, so one of the sites I've got is there called marketing. If I go into this marketing site, what it does is it loads up the list of site document libraries as well as lists on the site, and it retrieves the list of files from the first document library. So you'll see on the site there's 3 different document libraries, and as well as there's 2 different lists that are set up on this site. So if I just have a look at the document libraries, as soon as this has just come back. So you'll see in my document library, I've got quite a few different folders as well as documents. If I go and just move this across over here, I can view thumbnail images of each of the documents in this library. So as I scroll through, regardless of whether it's a PDF document or a Word document, it'll display the thumbnail. I can also go and click on PDF here, in which case it renders this as a PDF document. So it's dynamically converted that document, whatever document I'm clicking on, into a PDF, and as well as PDF documents that everyone always has a problem with in terms of viewing in Power Apps. So this works with any of these different document types, and you can see it's pretty quick to render these documents that original format of PDF. So this is quite a 7 meg file, but it will load up. And that's got about 170 different pages in it. I can also browse through to subfolders in here. So I've got one here called presentations. As I go into the presentations one, you'll see that this works just as well with PowerPoint presentation documents, and it converts them into PDFs as well. So that's no problem with that. Okay, I've got another library over here that's got 8,300 items in it. So again, you can see the type of performance in it. What I've done is this app allows you to configure the list view threshold dynamically. So I can set it between any number between 0 and 5,000. This app has been specifically configured just to enable up to 5,000, up to 2,500 items. But I can change this. So for example, if I just set it to 2,500, it'll now go and retrieve 2,500 items in this library. So if I go into this PNG folder, this has got 878 items in this folder, and it will now go and retrieve all 878. There is a reason that there is a list view threshold of 2,000, because the higher up you go, the slower the performance of the web browser gets. So as more and more information is cached, and that significantly starts slowing down the whole app. But it really depends on how much information you return back from the flow. So per column, for example, or per row. So you can see here, even though I'm displaying 878 items, the performance is not too bad, and I can scroll through, and these are all different PNG images, and randomly, dynamically displaying them as I go through that. If I just reset this back to the default, I'll show you some photos libraries that I've got. So this is a site that's got different photos as well as video content. So I'll show you how we can view this, and also how we can navigate to different subsites. So this subsites, basically I can click on, I can go and navigate to the different subsites of this site. It loads up the libraries, and again, everything is dynamic. There's no connections to using any SharePoint connectors whatsoever. There's no connectors to anything else. It's just basically 5 flows that are associated to this app. So in the site assets library that I've got is 10,100 items. It's viewing the first 300. If I look at the videos one, these are videos that I've uploaded to a specific document library, and you'll see that this uses the native Power Apps video player and can play videos using this that are stored in SharePoint, which has been a major bugbear.
So my name is Samir Bhangar. I'm on the PowerCat team with a customer advisory team for Power Apps, Flow, and the Common Data Service.
And you got full control over
Today
volume.
Talk about citizen development. So if some of you attended Charles Lamana's,
I can go and select different ones.
Hi everybody, my name's Clay Wesner. There we go. I'm joined today with...
So you can see there's no problem. I can hide the video controls. I can go and select different videos and play them. And these are all different ones that are set up. So that's pretty cool. Again, let me take you back into the site assets library where there's 2,000 photos and just show you the type of performance. Again, because we're viewing 300, it's actually quite fast, and that's why that, again, it's recommended to do this batching. And when I click over here, it retrieves the next batch. But as I go through these photos, you'll see they're pretty high resolution. I can click on them, and great deal of detail. I retrieve the next batch of 300 and it retrieves them. If I change my list view threshold, it will also then, let me just show you, I'll just go and increase that to some random number, and you'll see it retrieves the random number. So right now it's retrieving the next 300 batch, and like again, I said, these are really high quality photos, and it's spectacular performance. So if I change this list view threshold to some random number, it'll now go and fetch 486 from the site assets library. And what I've done in the flow is I've configured it at the moment to be static to order by the size. So you'll see it does list them by the size. But again, now we're displaying 486 of 10,000, and you can just click through these different ones, and you can see the performance is actually quite good when it's displaying 500. Really good quality photos. Again, like I said, if I retrieve the next 486, it'll go and retrieve the next 486. So yeah, basically there it goes, and it's a totally different set of photos that are now displaying. And again, we can scroll through these pretty quickly. Other thing I'd like to show you is just if I go look at the specific list functionality, and how these lists are dynamically, the information, the metadata pertaining to each list is dynamically retrieved. So, for example, I've got two different lists that are set up here. They've each got a custom set of columns that I've created. Some of them are lookup columns, some of them are date columns. Some of them can be choice columns as well. So what this does is dynamically retrieve the list of, so you can see I've got, if it's got attachments, the version number, who last modified it. I can click on the modified person, it'll come up with an email that I can send to that person. So it's got full functionality in terms of identifying the name with the presence information. So you'll see as I click on this list item, these are all the different properties pertaining to this particular item. I can click on a different one, it shows different information. HR director costs. I can also just to show you that the type of things that you can do, I've also included the capability to pick up the schema of the list. So it picks up dynamically on the fly that there's a cost center, it's a choice column, and these are the available different options. So like this can really enable you to modify the data, or do other things. So that information is pulled dynamically. If I look at a different list, so you can see it's got different information that's listed over here. And again, the columns are different. And, like you could perhaps do some type of thing where you select different columns, save that as a view, and it will just return that information. So you could do some funky stuff like that with this. So that's about it. Again, like I said, if you do a search, and I search for Teams, it'll show me anything with Teams that wasn't listed before. So I've got a booking site, for example, it'll go and load up that booking site. So again, none of this stuff is associated directly with the app. It's dynamically returned. So again, in the bookings library, I've got reservations, convert them to PDF documents. It's doing all dynamic stuff. If I look at the lists here, it's got a booking inquiry list. Again, I haven't configured this list, but you'll see it picks up the different metadata columns on this list. It's got all different information over there. Different columns on there. It's picked up all the different type of fields, whether it's a date time field, etc. I mean, I can click on that URL and it'll open it up in SharePoint so that I can validate that that's actually the list that was, it's definitely this list that is displaying. So it's got that information displaying over there. And that matches what's basically sitting over here in terms of the two different list items. So that's it for today. I'll be posting a blog very shortly on this. I hope you enjoyed this experience and look forward to setting up the blog and showing you how I did some of this. Take care. Cheers.